Hi, guys. Thanks for showing up tonight and hanging out with James and I on the Nocturnal Feeding. And James is super good at saying hello to everybody, so I'm going to let him do that deed.
Alrighty, glad to have you all here. As far up as I can go, and let's see, as far as I know, first person in was Tampa Tom Fishing, said #1 fan. We got Lefty 3213A, Griffin Fish Room, Big Tank Hank, of course, Chattanooga Ed and myself in the chat talking beforehand. Streetwise, Griffin Fish Room again, hello. Puggimus Maximus, Baltic Sea Guppies, Case and K Aloha Tanks, Cooley Kev, Lance Jones, Sand Creek Aquatics 2, hello Amy. John Cox is here. Pegasus Arena Dragon Lair. Carrie Habercorn, that's how I'm going to say that. If I'm wrong, my apologies. Pepplin Creek Aquatics, because Beth is back with us. Gina French, Holly Gibbs. There now it's starting to jump. Got Aquarium Cop. I saw Danikin is in here. Guppy Guru. Dr. Black 66. Punchy Paints. Hello, Pam. Frankie Finns is with us. A new name to me. Glad to see you. Miss Fever Shy Gal is here. I'm up at 929. Benoxky's Tanks. Kaler's Aquatics. Jeffrey Watts. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. Hey, Chad Krotz, GRB Aquatics. And now over to Ed with the news.
Yep. Well, hey, I just saw that Guppy Guru is in the chat, and he just hit 1,000. Did you know that?
I did. Congratulations, Peter.
Yeah. That is super cool. He's a really good guy. Peter, I need to get your address sometime because James and I have something little to send you for helping us out in the facility contest. And so I'd like to do that. So
Absolutely.
Just sometime. We want to start off by what James and I are doing tomorrow. We're going to have only a 1-hour stream tonight because we're going to wake up early and we're heading back to Mississippi tomorrow morning, and we're going to go help Amy. That's Nathan's wife, Nathan, Sand Creek Aquatics. We're still trying to get him to 1,000, so if you haven't subscribed, that would be totally awesome. I don't know if somebody can pop that in there, but we know that would be that was one of his big goals, was to get to 1,000. So we want to try to get that number to 1,000. Probably everybody knows Nathan, but if you don't, he's a super great guy, and we love him and miss him dearly. But we're still, I know that Nathan would do this for me or for James if, the situation was turned, and we're going to go and help get some of his fish and his snake, Bob Kaler, and Kaler's Aquatics. He's in here probably somewhere. He's one of my close-by neighbors and friends. He's got a great channel. He's got like 1,600 or 1,700 people. He's got a whole mess of them.
A lot of videos, too.
Yeah, a whole mess of videos. And I'm sure he'll have lots of Nathan's snake on there when we get it to him. We're going to leave tomorrow early in the morning. And this guy has to leave extra early because he comes from Knoxville. So he has to get to my house, then I'm going to drive the rest of the way. And we plan on taking a different route. Last time we took all highway because we just wanted to make sure we got there and everything. But this time we're going to go through Huntsville in the mountains. So we get to maybe enjoy a little scenery. And we're going to try to check out maybe 2 pet stores in Huntsville, Alabama also. So maybe we'll go live or something like that. Have you thought about that, James?
Absolutely. I've got the gimbal and everything charged up and good to go for that. And in terms of, like you were talking about the snake, I'm going to bring Nathan's angelfish, and assuming everybody gets along, which I don't see why they wouldn't, they're going to go in here with the other angels. That way we can kind of carry that on, and they'll be on the streams a couple times a week. So I think that'll be a good remembrance of him. I think he would have liked that.
Now, and I think I talked Amy into keeping the guppies, which is awesome because I know that he would like her to have some fish,
Oh, yeah.
And she said that there was a pleco, and she said there's a pleco she didn't know about, and I don't know if she wanted us to take the pleco or if she wanted us to tell her how to take care of a pleco. So what we're going to do is we're going to meet up with her on Friday night when we get in and go out to eat, and we'll discuss our plans. And then James and I will go over there Saturday morning, take care of business, and head back home. And James and I still have a live stream at 7:30 that night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Is there a chance we may have to do that from the car or from a McDonald's or something?
It's possible. We are supposed to have, a special guest. Priscilla MK is supposed to be on there. The stream is scheduled to start at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time Saturday night, but I think she's not going to be available until 8, regardless of where we're at. But we can, one way or another, we can accommodate that. I'll have my laptop and everything to stream anyway, so as long as we can find internet or decent phone signal, I can make it work.
See, that could be a good thing because it takes 6 hours. It really takes about 5.5 hours from my house to get to his place. But unfortunately, I got a herniated tailbone, so I have to get out of the car about once an hour and just walk a little bit. So it takes about an extra hour. So it's about a 6.5 hour trip. But when we go there, we're in Eastern and he's in Central, or Amy's in Central. So we gain an hour, but coming back, we'll actually lose an hour. So just lots of logistics. But we'll figure it out, folks. we'll figure it out. Priscilla's so cool. She'll deal with it.
It's always an adventure, and I'm just along for the ride, and I absolutely love it. I'm just enjoying life. Got a couple highlighted things I'm going to grab real quick from the chat. Sure. Sand Creek Aquatics 2, which would be Amy, says, I'm going to have the awesome guppy tank at Chattanooga Ed and Fisherman Fever. I'm so glad that you decided to do that. I think that he would really, really like that. And we're happy to help in any way we can with showing you the basics or whatever we can do for you.
You know, something else that he was doing is he had a frame that he was trying to get every YouTuber sticker. Mm-hmm. And this might be something easier that we do at Aquashella, but we could collect stickers for him there.
Right. Or Aquaticon.
Yeah. And anywhere, if anybody wants to send a sticker, James, do you have a P.O. box?
I do have a P.O. box now. Of course, it is not in your description. It's over in mine, but I can grab it. Zen will probably beat me to it, or Priscilla. I actually sent it to them as soon as I left the post office. Just in case I lost the receipt, I would still know it. But yeah, I'll dig for that while you're talking about the project.
So if anybody would want to send a sticker or a letter or anything nice, you could send it to that P.O. box, and we'll make sure that Amy gets it. Or because I don't want to give out Amy's address. So, maybe someday she'll want to do something or set it up or something. But this way, we just got something going right now.
Lefty's already snagged it and thrown it in the chat. Thank you very much, Lefty. I appreciate that.
Awesome, Lefty. Thank you. Maybe someday if I get big enough, I'll be able to have a P.O. box. That'd be cool.
I say we just share this one. I'm already paying for one. No need to pay for a second one.
Well, that's even cooler. But, so that's our immediate plans. But let's talk about what happened earlier this week.
Can I grab a couple more things before they stack up on us? I appreciate it. Dragon Lair says, Fisherman Fever, my breeder's award was from the Huntsville Aquarium Society in the 70s. That is very, very cool.
Who was that?
Dragon Lair.
Oh, that's so cool. I think that's where the Deep South Guppy Club meets, is in Huntsville.
Okay, nice. Rose Aquatics says, Fisherman Fever, y'all should stop by tomorrow by my house on the way back. We can stream from my place. I appreciate the invite. We will. I don't know where we're going to be on the road, so I don't want to commit to anything 100%, but we will definitely keep that in mind, bro, and I appreciate that. I've been enjoying your live streams as of late, so thank you very much for that.
Oh, yeah. She's had some absolutely great ones. Would somebody want to pop LaRose's link? I love just promoting people's shows.
Absolutely.
I wish I could just be on a show that does nothing but promoting shows. But nevertheless, so going back in time, on Monday, James, this guy, Bob, and I don't know if Bob's here. Oh, there's Bob. He
even made a comment about what you're about to talk about.
Well, and myself all got to meet up and meet the fish mom, Susan. And she gave me a whole mess of these stickers. I imagine Nathan already has one, but I'm going to bring one just in case.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, Susan's super cool. It was a wonderful time to be able to hang out and talk. And, well, these guys didn't do much eating. Well, James had some shrimp, but Bob didn't have anything, and Susan didn't have anything. They just had tea. But I
Why do you
had,
think? Why do you think I offered to pay for it? Only half the people ate, and I was half of that. No,
and I had the special. I had chicken dumplings. Well, oh, and tomorrow when we meet up with Amy, you pick the restaurant anywhere in town that you like, and I'll pay for it. And so don't worry about where. It's cool. Whatever you like in that town. But
it's very nice of you, Ed.
Yep. Oh, but it'll be fun.
As
I owe James for my chicken noodles.
as long as we don't have to walk for the Mexican restaurant, if that's where we end up going, because the last time we were in town and walked for a Mexican restaurant, well, there's a live stream, and a lot of you all already know that story. So,
well, and we walked about a mile before we found where it was. But yeah, good time though. It was a good experience on a sad weekend. We'll put
it was. It really was.
Needed something to get our minds off of something else. So,
yep.
But yep. So that was a really good time. I need to contact Susan and see how she did. I don't know. I'm sure she's gotten home. I felt terrible that I thought about that earlier today. I need to text her and make sure she got there. I don't know if anybody's heard anything, but Ed took off his glasses and read the string. Yes. Oh, I just did it now too. I can read the single lines. If everybody would just do one line, see if it's multi.
Like Lefty said, you needed to hear me better, so you had to take your glasses up like that for your hearing. Absolutely.
Yep. But jeepers. So that was a lot of fun. And I forgot my glasses, and I was like, oh no, I got to read this menu. But since I knew what I pretty well wanted, so I said, when I went in there, I had my mind up. It was going to be meatloaf or chicken and dumplings. And I sat down. She said, chicken dumplings are the special. I said, I'll take that. And then she said, and so's a meatloaf. Did you notice that? The two things I wanted. I should have ordered them both.
Right.
Oh,
absolutely. I do want to address something real quick, and partially because I want to promote you a little bit. Aquarium is maintained by Andy, said no donation button, ? Ed is not actually monetized yet, and we're on his channel. I know we used to have the Nocturnal feeding show over on my channel, but we moved it to his to try and help get him monetized. So I appreciate you all supporting him. If you haven't subscribed to this guy already, be sure to do so. He's got some awesome stuff going on his channel. Besides the streams, he's got some videos coming. Just built a fish room. I think you're almost done with that, right?
Just about completely done. I'd probably be done if I wasn't leaving town tomorrow.
Right, or every other weekend. We got 50 people watching now and 42 thumbs up. I really do appreciate that because Ed's an awesome guy. So thank you for the support. Let's get him. I think you're 500. I want to say 469 subscribers. So we're getting there. But if you haven't, subscribe to that guy there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, normally I try to always have a theme, but since we're just going to do 1 hour, I thought by the time we just talk about all of our normal stuff, there wouldn't be a time for a theme.
Right.
So that's why I would say normally, share it to your friends, because if your friends aren't subscribed to me, they probably won't watch what you're subbing to, or telling them to share, but they might sub and say, I'll look at him later. And it's a great way to get subs. So if you ever want to do that, that's cool. But we do have plans. That was we went immediate future, past. Now we're going to go to July 3rd. And wow, I've picked up 4 people. Well, thank you guys so much. On July 4th, we got another YouTube hangout. We've got James again. James, my left-hand man. All right. Yes, yeah, you're my left. Okay. And then Bob, my boss, is going to be there, and we're going to meet up with Patrick. And most people know Patrick as Dragon Lair, but he's from Alabama. And we're meeting up with Brad, who is Mr. Fish Sir. So those guys are pretty cool dudes. And we're going to go to Atlanta, and we're going to check out a couple of the fish stores there. Bob, I've picked out for sure the two that we'll go to is the two biggest ones that we really liked, and they were pretty close. And then I just have to kind of decide maybe two more or three if we got them. But I think we should go to the two big ones first.
Mhm.
And I think Bob would agree with me on that one. There's one that I really would like to go to. It's nothing but frags, but it's saltwater. And since we're all freshwater guys, or well, mostly freshwater guys, I don't know if we should do the frag place. But they have this amazing tank. It's probably a 1,000-gallon rectangle, like tall. It only goes probably 4 feet back, but it's like 6 foot high and like 10 foot wide, and it looks like a coral reef. It is so neat. Has all the layers and everything. It's just one of the neatest tanks I've seen.
So real quick, Tom Patterson says, Fisherman Fever, The Reef, Indy posted a tour of Aquamarine on their YouTube channel today. You'll have to check it out. Absolutely. Very, very cool.
And I would love to go to Indy someday. Indianapolis is like one of the towns I used to go to quite a bit when I lived in St. Louis. I probably go to Chicago 3 times a year, and I do Indianapolis at least once to twice a year. So I like Indy, and I think it'd be fun to check out their fish stores. It's real easy to get around the town because it's like a giant circle with the highway. I don't know. I like Indianapolis.
So if I can sidetrack you real quick, Peter Guppy Guru, cover your ears. I'm not going to give details, but I'm going to say if you're a YouTuber, you're a fan of Guppy Guru, shoot me an email because I'm working on something because Peter's an awesome guy. So I would love to collaborate with quite a few people on that. I'll give you details when you contact me. Or you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Either one, Fishroom Fever on Facebook or fishroomfever@gmail.com for email. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, now look, Dragon Lair said, I may not be able to be there, can't get in touch with Thomas C., and he was going to be my ride. I don't have a car. And I've got 2 glasses on. And,
Do you want these?
yeah.
I got 2 more pairs right here, so.
I can't believe I did that. So we were wondering if Thomas was Griff, and that was going to be the next person I was going to talk about, was because I kept saying Thomas. I had him on the list of 6 people, and then he thought it was Griff, and I thought it was like Thomas from Alabama. But if Griff, I think Griff is working Griff like works 10 days and then he's off 10 days or something like that. So I don't know if he's off or not, but he can come on down and hang out with us if he wants.
Let's work.
But Griff has to go to Alabama and get Dragon Lair first.
Or Thomas, whoever Thomas is. The only Thomas that I know is Thomas is Griffin, but somebody emailed me. I don't remember now, but I'm not checking my email on the stream.
Bob, I am off because the 3rd is considered a holiday, and my therapists are all taking the day off. So I was kind of disappointed because I was like looking forward to canceling. Whenever I get to cancel therapy, it's a good thing. And they're like, oh, you're already off. I was like, oh.
Yes, Peter, you can listen again.
So, but yeah, I am good to go. Bob, I mean, the only thing that I might be worried about is if we hear that there's like protesting or something, because I don't want to get in the middle of a protest. That'd be my.
We got it covered.
But yep. So that would be a lot of fun. You want to? Is there any information about the Big James deal?
Well, the only information that I can disclose at this time is the Big James deal is now officially Aquaticon. So Aquaticon will be happening in Knoxville, Tennessee on October 3rd and 4th. That is a weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Going to be a pretty big thing. I know that Bob Steenfott will most likely be there. He just found out that there's a birthday party scheduled for, I want to say his grandfather that weekend. But he also said his grandfather's the type of person that would tell him to go to the meetup or go to the event, because it's not really a meetup. It's an event, even though that we're meeting everybody. And then John and Lisa from KG Tropicals have talked about it. Let's see, we've got Rack from the River Life. Peck Tech is here in Knoxville, so I'm sure he'll be swinging by, and lots of other YouTubers on top of all of the things that we have planned. We're going for a very fall festival, family-oriented type of event where you feel comfortable bringing the kids with you. So it's going to be a really good time. It's going to be really big, and it's just the first one. So, who doesn't want to go to the very first of an event? Go back and go to the first aqua shell or the first aquatic experience.
I hope there's T-shirts. I really do.
There will be T-shirts. There will be Aquaticon T-shirts. I can't give the full details, but yes, there will definitely be T-shirts, and that's part of why I had to wait on releasing the name, if you will. But there will be T-shirts available for the event, and there's going to be a YouTuber booth. There are going to be lots of other booths for vendors and things of that nature. All the things that you would expect at a larger scale fish event. But we want to keep it really family oriented versus business and drinks, if you will.
Sure. Well, I think Rose said she would like to get a table, and I don't know if anybody has ever checked out Rose's page on Get Gills, but she has some amazing crustaceans, I guess, or shrimps. And does she still have snails on there too?
I haven't looked recently, but I will say, Ro, I've not forgotten about you. The weekly meetings that we've been having with the Silent Partner and other people, with me going out of town this week, that's not going to happen until early next week. But there is still space available. I'll put it that way. And as soon as we have something nailed down 100%, I will message you immediately, Ro. So I appreciate that very much.
For sure. So that's pretty cool, though. The only other major event other than that I know of is Aquashella, and they haven't canceled Chicago yet, but James and I will be going to the Dallas Aquashella. Brad is taking his kids if they get off work, so I need to tell him right now, Ed, if it's off. Well, I mean, Bob, I can definitely make it, and so can James. The only thing is if we'd want to wait for Pat or Dragon Lair. I probably shouldn't say Patrick, but I meant Dragon Lair. So, I mean, whatever you decide, Bob, I'll support 100%.
Absolutely. Right there, what Ed said.
And I have no other immediate plans for the whole month of July. So.
Right. So Ro is sold out of shrimp right now, but still has plants on sale and snails too. A lot of people are, there have been some shrimp issues with everything going on. I've got a video that I did that's been sitting for almost 2 weeks now just because I can't get the stock to put in it to be able to complete the video. So shrimp is kind of, yeah, Jesse, you're welcome. Come along. Hop on a plane. We'd love to have you.
Oh, I think Bob may have been asking me something other than that, because then Bob said, Ed, that's not what I typed.
What he actually typed was he needed to let him know that you are off, not that it is off.
Oh, so, yeah, I'm off. Or, yes, gosh.
Hey, Tim.
I'll be there. And I can pretty much make any of them as long as I know 2 days in advance and let my therapist know so I can reschedule or cancel. I prefer to cancel. She prefers to reschedule.
Right. Well, and as long as my travel manager, lets me know about it, I'm good. Awesome. I love this guy.
Gosh, where I forgot what I was thinking or gonna go with next. Oh, I noticed that Carrie Science Scale, who's an awesome YouTuber from Missouri, asked when I'm going to be heading back to Missouri. I actually want to go back soon. Not only do I want to see my brother and my sister-in-law and a lot of my friends, one of my buddies has got a 72-inch bow front tank that he's going to give me, and I'm going to spin it around and put the bow in the back, and that's going to be my first frag tank. So I've been just kind of waiting for, everything to relax in the world before I drive to St. Louis.
Bob, I did not see what you told Ed about meeting us in Chattanooga. And Priscilla, no, we won't be there to celebrate your birthday in July. Peter's a July baby too. I say that also. I am a July baby. My birthday is the 2nd of July. So you're not coming to my birthday, so why should I go to yours? I'm just kidding. But
well, that's awesome, James. Yeah. You're almost going to be as old as me.
Yeah,
just almost. A couple more days.
I wish I was. I wish I felt as young as I was. I'll put it that way.
I did get mail, and this mail isn't necessarily fish related, but it's for my fish room, and it's from my brother, so it kind of ties into the whole St. Louis thing.
Nice.
It is not budging. I feel like one of those otters that has a rock and they hit their shell, or hit a rock, the shell on their tummy. So say something, James.
Bob says, Kaler's Aquatics. James and Ed, I can meet you guys in Chattanooga Saturday evening to save you coming up to Cleveland. Hey, that works.
Oh, okay.
Priscilla says, how do I know that she's not coming to my birthday? Haha, the attitude. I know you're busy. I know you've got a lot of things going on. I've kind of kept it low key. Oh, that's awesome.
This is Cthulhu, and it's a little thing for the wall. He said it's from my fish room because he knows I love Cthulhu.
Very nice.
And I don't know if you guys know who Cthulhu is. It's got the mythos like writing. That's the Cthulhu writing. Cthulhu was a kind of a creation of a writer during he was a big writer during the Depression. H.P. Lovecraft, an amazing American novelist, and he made up this whole storyline about these gods and crazy things that lived in other worlds that were always trying to come into America into the Earth realm to collect souls. But Cthulhu I love because he lives in the ocean, and he has the octopus head, and he's just super cool. So that was pretty neat that my brother sent me that. Oh, Lefty knows who Cthulhu is. Good job. So
we've got a whole lot of July babies in here. We're going to have to all team up and do a big July bash, as they're saying.
We could name it the Big James deal.
Yeah.
The Big James birthday deal.
What was it? Lefty earlier, I told him, I was like, it's formerly known as the Big James deal. And he said the OGs are always going to call it the Big James deal. And I said, I'm okay with that.
Oh, and then somebody did mention the Codfather. That's Bob. I still haven't gone down the hill to check how much they would charge me for bowling shirts for us Tennessee guys. So it's still the only place I've checked is $45. And that's, I think, too expensive for bowling shirts. And if I have to buy them in Missouri, I will. Because bowling's huge in Kansas or in St. Louis.
All right.
So I'd buy bowling shirts. They're normally like $20 a person on there, maybe 25. So 45 is ridiculous. Except maybe if they never have bowling shirts.
Right. So we've got Pegasus Rena says, Fisherman Fever, my son would go nuts sharing a birthday party with you. Yeah, Rena said her son's birthday is on the 4th. And Miss Fever, in regard to the bowling shirt, says she still wants to be Sunshine. I'm still torn between Jimmy the Nose, as the Ginger recommended because of my love for the bristlenose plecos, and of course James and Jimmy, or the Python because the cleanup. So I don't know. I think Jimmy the Nose is going to be the one I go with.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking probably Feeding Frenzy, but I don't know for sure. Priscilla wants me to tell everybody about my Halloween costume skills. I'm helping her with hers, but the thing is, Priscilla, is I never let anybody know until the event. So it's got to be top secret to really pay off. Because that otherwise people will expect more than what happens, and then they'll be let down. If they have no idea, then they're always blown away. So I never let anybody know anything.
I'm going as a YouTuber.
Oh well, I was one Halloween I was going to go as James Brown, and I was looking so forward to trying to do the dancing and I was going to get the wig that James Brown had. And, oh, it's going to be so much fun. And I told one guy, and he literally told everybody. So I couldn't be James Brown for Halloween that year. Very disappointing. And that was back when I could move. Now I just be gimpy James Brown. I don't know. Maybe zombie James Brown. I could twitch a little cool.
Hey, do we have a fish-related question? I can't believe it. I love it. Or a comment, anyways. Because Beth says, set up a little cube planted tank yesterday. It's still cloudy. Crypts and microswords so far. That is awesome. I am really in love with the nano tanks and the small planted tanks. They're very, very cool, Beth. Loving that. And the cloudiness should go away. Mine took a couple of days on most of the tanks I set up, but it'll clear up for you.
Yeah, did she say what type of substrate she used?
She did not. I'm going to
just put a lot more. You can wash them off with a strainer or something beforehand, clean it off. But like Eco Complete is great because it doesn't do anything. But the other stuff, oh man, I'm trying to think. The fluoride. Gosh,
Fluval stratum is one of the other commonly used ones, which I do enjoy it.
That one's pretty good. That one doesn't do much.
It does a little bit. You can have some ammonia leaching, and it can adjust or affect the pH. But what I did and what like PecTech recommended, because he's used fluval stratum a lot more than I have, was simply to do a couple of decent sized water changes and then add your livestock in after a few days of doing that, just to get past that initial spike.
And honestly, I generally try to always wait 2 to 3 weeks after I plant it, and then I wait 2 to 3 weeks, and I've waited longer before I add fish because I like to get their roots going. And water plants or aquatic plants are great growers, but sometimes if you throw them in right away, they haven't really gotten established, and it's just better to let the plants grow for a little bit, and everything just seems to always work out so much more smooth.
And I did shrimp in mine, so I didn't really have to worry about them messing anything up. But that's also one of those things that doesn't get talked about a whole lot when you're doing YouTube and you're keeping fish. A lot of times there's a cause and effect of, well, maybe I'd probably leave this sit for 3 weeks normally, even though it's not bad for me to do it in 3 days, but I need to get this video out. So I'm going to try and get it ordered in here and express shipped in 3 days so that I can get the video out on time. Beth said, where did it go? There we go. Because Beth, I'm thinking in a month or so, I will add some shrimp. It's gravel so far with larger rocks mixed in. Very nice. And then she says, I want to dirt my 20-gallon eventually. I've done a couple of dirted tanks, set one up on a live stream with Father Fish. I absolutely love them. It's one of my favorite tanks is the one that I did in that live stream with him.
Yep. I haven't decided. I did a dirted tank in 3 of my tanks that I put in the fish room, and they're 20 longs, and I don't think I'm going to do it in any of the others just because it's just too much substrate for such a low tank. I like it. I mean, I do really like the dirted tank in that whole substrate system, but I just think when you only you're working with a foot of water, and then you're just cutting too much water out with that substrate like that.
I can understand that. My dirted tank is kind of like that, but it's just a couple of several tetras and then like bristlenose plecos and shrimp, so it's nothing that really needs a lot of water column, if you will.
Sure.
The way that the plants grow in there I just love it.
Well, you see, that's the thing is I love the plant growth. So, and I mean, mine are just all guppies pretty much, or handlers, or I don't know.
Pegasus Sister Rena says, Fisher and Fever, I have a tank question for you. I recently bought, and then of course it went off screen, a Java fern, but it has no roots and the goldfish keep pulling it out of the gravel. Will the roots come back or should I mark it lost? If it's going to stay in that tank, they are probably not going to change their behavior and give it a chance to survive. If you're contemplating putting it in like one of these nets, which this right here, this box is an in-tank breeder box. It's mesh, that white box right there. Something like that to give it a chance. There's probably still some root structure there. I've found that plants can be extremely resilient. Even when you think they're done for, they're usually not. But if the goldfish are just going to continue that same behavior, it's probably not going to get a chance to survive.
Hey, Miles, thanks for joining us. Jesse, HC Aquatics. I guess he's probably having a talk with Lefty, and they're talking about the kitty litter.
Oh, nice.
I haven't tried the kitty litter yet either, and I really need to try that. Maybe I'm doing recycling all my tanks so they're all new, and I think tomorrow on one of our stops we'll stop at a Walmart and I'll try to find some of that just cheap clay litter. James, try to remind me.
Absolutely. I will definitely forget to remind you to do that, sir.
Yeah, I know. I should write that down.
At least I'm honest about it, right?
Yeah, and I'm good at writing things down, so that way we have a shot. Okay. Kitty litter. Walmart. Okay. Now that it's been wrote down, it's the extra shot that it'll be in my mind. Hey, Danikin's here too. Thanks, Dan. Or actually, Ken. You never know, though. It could be Danny in there. Does
it could be
Danikin have her own name? Or do they just share an account?
I believe they just share.
You never know who's actually on there. Weird. Oh, well, just something to think about. Yep. Okay, so Jesse said, yeah, Ed, I just picked up a bag and been waiting to use it. So I tell you what, Jesse, I'll set up a bag or a tank up on Sunday, and you set one up on Sunday, and we'll compare and see how they do. Watch it.
So Priscilla, fortunately, I had time to do a little bit of Googling because I knew she was trying to be a sassafras there. I would treat with a fungus cure, most likely from API. She was asking a fish question to James and Ed, what would you treat spirulogenia with? And then the little sassy, smirky face there. So, of course, I had to look it up.
I don't know. I never get that because I hear only weak aquarium owners get that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got a healthy tank, you wouldn't need to even worry about it, Priscilla. You just got to, do better at your fish keeping. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Love you, Priscilla.
Yeah, Priscilla might hit us with something.
Probably.
So, has anybody else got anything interesting to ask or anything?
We've got some more highlighted questions in here. Let me get back down to them. And Dragonler says, Fisher and Fever, Amy is asking who all sent Nathan t-shirts or know he had theirs so she can find them for her quilt. I don't know off the top of my head. I feel like at some point I saw him in a Fisher and Fever shirt, but I don't know for sure.
I would have sent him one as soon as I get one designed.
Yeah.
I'm in a situation where I can show you guys where I'm at. I want to have a red beard on my logo, but I'm having a hard time getting it to come out red. Where's the stupid thing?
And then because Beth had asked a question, how many antlers should I add to my 20-gallon? Only a betta and some plants currently. I saw a good response there. Lefty was asking if they're all males, and you could go like 15. Beth, if both genders get a trio. Yeah, that's that's about the numbers you're looking for. Rena is asking, fish room fever, and that's Pegasus urinus. Currently have it in a pot with soil and gravel topper, hoping that will help since no money for breeder box. Absolutely. And I tell you what, if you've just got some cheap Tupperware, you can always take that, jab some holes in it, and use that as a breeder box. I'm all about working with what you've got. One of my biggest things is not having to spend money on stuff. Yeah, that right there.
I want to get this so the outside is dark red and the inside is light red, but I don't know how. So if anybody has an idea or a good program for me to go to change that colors. Yeah. Oh, there's a flying ant on my screen. Gross. You guys could shoot me that information. It would be awesome.
Absolutely. But to answer that, Rena, if they were already tearing it out of the pot, they're probably going to continue tearing it out of the pot. So if it wasn't in the pot previously, they may not continue that behavior, but I have seen a lot of fish that will dig plants out of pots, unfortunately. So I've tried that approach myself with some things, and it did not help. But you never know. It's one of those things, what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. You may have great success with it where I did not. I see some sassy people in here that are just throwing out questions just to throw out questions. Let's see if there's anything else before
I kind of missed some of the stuff. Is she trying to figure out plants to grow in her tank with her goldfish?
Yeah, she's trying to save that one particular plant that she's already got, more than having to make an additional purchase of other plants.
What type of plant was it?
I thought it was a Java fern, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, some might be tough. You can get some Anubias that's like really thick and tough that you could glue down to something so they can't dig it up. Like, if you have a rock, you could glue it to the side and let it grow. And I mean, they can turn into big, pretty bushes. And I don't know if your angels are going to mess with it. I've got it in with a bunch of American flagfish, and they like to eat anything tender, and they don't touch that. So that works really well. Just throwing that out.
I don't see much else, so I will answer Lefty's question. Lefty is throwing out the full scientific name, asking how about treating ick. I use IckX. That's my go-to, so that's what I would recommend for treating ick. You can, of course, if medications are not an option, increase temperature and use salt depending upon what you've got in the tank, if it's a salt-tolerant species and if you've got plants in there. But those are the two most popular options.
I always add a heat.
There you go. I stopped adding heat only because I had a run-in with columnaris, and heat helps it multiply. It actually helps it divide quicker when you heat it up. So I quit adding heat to anything unless I absolutely have to, just because I had never dealt with columnaris before. It was right when I got back into the hobby, and I had never dealt with it, had never seen it, and I started doing guppies for the first time. And that's when I came across it, and I'm like, oh, this is some sort of a fungus or bacterial, and was trying to treat it with a couple different things, and then adding heat and trying to figure out what was going on because nothing was working. And then I found out that it actually helps it divide quicker when you heat it up. So
GRB asks me, how do I enjoy my flagfish? Now, what I actually have, I don't have Florida flagfish, which is the more common flagfish you see, at least I think. I have American flagfish, and I've actually shot the film. I just haven't put it together. And I'm going to be putting out like a 5-minute description of American flagfish because I absolutely love them. They are super beautiful. They look a lot like bass. Well, I don't know if you know what a bass looks like. Well, you probably know what a bass looks like. I don't know if they have bass there in Australia. But they're only about 1.5 inches. They do an amazing job on the algae. I mean, they devour it. But they'll also, like, I had Japanese pennywort in there, and the next day it was just strings. I mean, literally, because the Japanese pennywort is like picture threads with little bitty clovers all over it. And they just They just devoured it. They also like my Val was running like what do they call it? Runners, I guess. Running runners,
Yeah.
and the bottom of each plant has like the little root system that comes out, and they ate all the roots off the valve that was coming off the root system. So they're aggressive eaters. They can be fin nippers, so you don't want to keep them with like I don't want to put any of my pretty guppies in there. Wouldn't want to put uh, anything with a big fin because they'll go after that. But for the most part, I love them. I have them in 2 separate tanks. I like them that much.
So HC Aqua has a fish question. Says I brought this up in another stream, but my 75-gallon hill stream tank got hit with Camelinus worms. I paused halfway through because somebody said that word in the video got pulled. So hopefully it doesn't get a strike on it. We'll combat it if it does. Any experience in treating it? Hoping I don't have to tear it all down. I have been very, very fortunate not to have to deal with it. I know that, last I heard, Corey was still not 100% on approving what he was trying for it, because it's still something that's kind of tricky. I know Fish Tropic, which I don't think is in here tonight, has done a couple different things in combating them, so you may check out his channel. I've not had to deal with them, thank goodness. So I can't give you any hands-on experience on anything that has or has not worked for me, unfortunately. That's still kind of one of those things that you get a lot of 6 of one, half dozen of the other information that people say, yes, this works, and then somebody else tries it, and no, it doesn't. And you do have the, hey, what works for me may not work for you, but generally with medications, it's a little bit more solid when you say this should fix it.
You know what? Dragon Lair just schooled me. I thought Florida flagfish had like they were the guys with the lines on their tail. They kind of look like the back of a airplane, like a World War II plane or something.
Yeah.
But he is totally right, and I admit I'm totally wrong. This is what. I'm going to keep calling them American flagfish. Why give Florida the credit? This is what they look like. The males on top, they just have a beautiful coloration. Mine have a little more green in them, a little less red. And my girls have a little more color than that. But they're really neat. They're really fun when they're also breeding because they kind of like chase each other and they do loops chasing each other. So, yep, I love them. They're a great fish to have.
Aquariums maintained by Andy mentioned Canaplex does some good stuff. Canaplex is a good medication, but I reference it to dropping a nuke in the tank. That stuff is super, super strong. Anybody that's ever used it knows the dosage is very, very minimal. I think every other day. It's just such powerful stuff, and it's not guaranteed it's going to help, but it can. That is a possibility, just if you use it like any medication, but especially with Canaplex, from my experience, follow the directions. And that scoop is really teeny, so don't put too much. And then I think it was Priscilla mentioned fenbendazole. Going through here. Priscilla MK mentioned fenbendazole can work too. And again, it can. I've seen people have success with it, or seen videos of people saying they had success with it, but I've also heard people use it and it not treat it completely or not make it go away. So I hate to recommend anything that I can't personally validate. But like I said, check out, there are some people that have treated it, and then you'll also find people that tried the same thing and it didn't work. Maybe it's different water parameters. Who knows? Every tank is a little bit different. But those are 2 good suggestions for some place to start. I've got a fly in here again. Awesome.
Well, Chevy said those are flagfish, Chattanooga, different from Florida flagfish. So I don't know. Maybe I opened up a big can of worms. But when I do my thing, I'm just going to call them flagfish, American flagfish.
There you go. And Bob Kaler, Bob Kaler's Aquatics with a wonderful question. Says, I have a question. if I say no MSG when I go through Chinese takeout, it says takey outy drive through. Do you think they put it on anyway? Absolutely.
I think it's built in. I don't think they can take it out.
Yeah.
That's why I try not to eat much Chinese, because if I eat Chinese, I have to run straight to the bathroom an hour later. Gosh, how do we always go to this subject? But that said, Bob took James and I to an awesome Chinese restaurant once.
Yeah,
and I don't think they had any MSG on their food.
Oh, that was awesome. That was really, really, really good food.
Yeah, I was a little nervous because we were in Knoxville. No problems.
So Priscilla MK says Flavobacterium columnar is gram-negative. Kanamycin treats gram-negative, so that should be the first option of treatment. And that's where you're getting, I guess you could say, over my head, if you will. I mean, I understand the gram-negative and gram-positive and all that, but I've not had the hands-on experience to really delve into that. You've got somebody like Priscilla who works in a fish store, has got a lot more contact with these fishy things than I do. Definitely a person that I would trust on it.
I think Dan mentioned that yesterday in his stream. I heard that just yesterday. It's bizarre that it would come up. I wonder if it comes up all the time and I just blur it out of my mind because it's too hard of words to notice.
Right. Pugimus Maximus asking, and by the way, thank you, Lefty, and everyone else that has posted the link for the premiere that I have in about 9 minutes. I figured since we were only going for an hour tonight, I'd go ahead and throw out the video I was going to release tomorrow tonight. I give you all at least another 16 minutes or so of some chatting or something to do. I got you. I'm going to flip mine that way now. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Pugimus Maximus says, blue LED good for plants. From what I understand in terms of the spectrum, blue is great for algae, but it is the least, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not uptaken because that's not a word. We're going to make it a word. Hashtag uptaken. The least useful for plants, from what I understand of the light spectrums and what I've looked into with lighting.
But I think it's really pretty.
It is really pretty, and it also serves a purpose in terms of at night, every single fish room has one blue light left on somewhere to help the parents not eat the fry. So like my guppies, I don't want them eating the babies when all the lights go out. So I will leave a light on, and that's something Dan's Fish had mentioned, is he leaves the light on as well. That way it's not total darkness because that can spook the parents into eating the fry.
You know, I keep a night light that just goes on. It's a solar night light. I bought it at the dollar store. Dirt cheap. I focus it straight up on the ceiling, so they have a little moon up there, and I think it just makes everybody more relaxed at night. I don't know if it makes any difference, because I mean, I do have fry with the guppies, and I don't think they make any difference. It's more your egg layers. But I thought for even my dragon puffer, it would be nice to have her have a little extra light.
And I will say that with most of the guppies, I've not seen a difference, but with the ones that are more prone to eat the fry, I've noticed that I'm at least seeing a couple fry now, whereas before I wasn't seeing, I'd find maybe one, so I'm getting some that are left.
What do you have that's eating fry? I mean, when I was younger, they ate the fry like crazy, but out of just about everything I have, nothing's been eating the fry. Not all my albinos. I have 2 different albino strands. They don't eat it. It's been really, I just can't believe how lucky I've been.
My pineapples are the worst ones. The pineapple snake skin, I think is what it is. I have to look at it again, but they're real bad about it. And then I've got a couple other strains that I've gotten from some people that are, at this point anyways, bad about trying to eat the fry. Hey, Steamfight Aquatics. Just got the notification right as we're about to end here in 6 minutes. Good to see you, Bob. Hope you're going to be able to make it out to Aquaticon 2020 in Knoxville. There it is. Lefty3213A says, I think blue LED is good for growing corals, fish room fever. Yeah, if you're doing saltwater and you're doing corals, the blue is definitely a good thing. And that's why when I took this light and switched it from a coral light over to a freshwater planet tank light, I took out the 4 actinic or blue lights that were in it because it's a 6-tube T5 fixture. I took out the 3 actinics and replaced them with standard white spectrum, we'll say, bulbs. Priscilla saying, how dare I say she works at the fish store? She manages it. Yeah, but working at the fish store implies actually working. Managing implies doing less work, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're more than just a stinking manager.
Yeah,
You're the heart and soul.
absolutely.
They're
You
still
got,
talking about MSG.
I see
And
that.
yeah, Dragonlayer's talking about our American cheese. I bet you the wonderful cheese they have in Europe doesn't have the MSG.
Probably not. Um, so I will say I was very, very happy to finally get this cichlid video done and up on the channel. I've had a lot of people asking for an African cichlid video, and you're going to be seeing more of it. And there's the, the big steen as well. Steampod Aquatics popped back in with the big steen. So that tank is actually, if you look through here in between these two tanks, you can see that 55-gallon cichlid tank right there. My desk, my other desk, my big desk, my filming desk is on the other side of here. So you'll be seeing that African cichlid tank in the background of some of the upcoming videos, depending upon which angle I shoot from. So it'll get a lot more screen time.
You know what? We've got 4 minutes before the show starts. So let's thank all of our mods. And they all have channels that we'd love to sub to. Zen Ginger, she makes some really good stuff. She never talks. I keep waiting for something to hear just a bit of a voice. Let's see. And I'm going to feel terrible if she can't talk. But she does a wonderful job typing, and she has wonderful videos. Check her out. Bob Taylor's on there. He makes videos from everywhere. You don't know if it's going to be in his amazing house with a million tanks and a couple of birds, or if it's going to be at Walmart or the laundromat. Go check out Bob. He'll keep it interesting. Griffin Fish Room, he loves to have live streams at night and hang out and just talk fish or whatever's on your mind. Sub to Lefty, because Lefty and I have something we're planning in the near future that may end up being on his channel. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Candy Overhauls, we need to make her the biggest all-time subbed non-video channel there is. I subbed to her before she got 100, so you got to get on there. Has she had 1,000?
Maybe I don't know if she is or not. I know she was headed that way.
I was going to say, make sure you get there before your 1,000 hits. She might make T-shirts or something. And I saw Kenny from Danikin was here. Danikin Aquatics. He's a lot like Bob, has an amazing fish house. And he does a live stream every Sunday night at 9 Central. So he's always cool to watch. And his wife also makes great videos, and they're together. She's the Dan and he's the Ken in the Danikin. And am I missing anyone here?
I think you got everybody. HC Aqua had made a comment about Zen. Zen makes videos. I want to say it because it was relevant. I thought of it earlier when John was talking about glowfish. Zen Ginger's actually got a really good, detailed, explanatory video about glowfish. So if you're kind of on the fence about them or you're not quite sure exactly how that process works, go check that out. It's a good video. Might change your mind on it.
Oh, Fish Room Fever's here.
Oh,
Make
not
sure
that guy.
check out his show. He and I will be interviewing the awesome Priscilla this Friday or this Saturday at 7 Central, at some random time.
Some random time, absolutely.
And I think I may have everybody. I know Meg Guy is one of my people. He's a pretty cool dude that likes to have random channels, so sub to him. And I saw Blackie was here earlier. I keep missing Blackie's show. The problem is I do a show that night with Chris on Multi-Tank Addiction, and then I go straight to eating dinner and watching Deadliest Catch. And I always forget
wrong with that
to go back to watching the live streams. And I love Blackie's shows. But we need to get Blackie on as a guest either on a Friday or a Thursday.
Absolutely.
I love hanging out with Blackie. Super cool guy, super Australian. Now, I wanted to ask him yesterday. I saw a commercial with kangaroos, and I wanted to ask him if they ever hop in his yard. BRB, do they ever hop in your yard? And now it's going to probably take 15 seconds, so I shouldn't ask questions. Oh, everybody go to the premiere. Thank you for showing up. Talk to you.
It's got 1 minute and 50 seconds if you had anything else you needed to say.
Oh, well, maybe we'll get a chance to hear if GRB's ever seen any kangaroos jump in his yard. Earth-shattering. But no, thank you, everybody, for showing up. It's always a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And if you're looking for something else to do, we can chat for about another 16 minutes in that video premiere. Since we didn't give you a full 2 hours, I figured I'd give you something.
Yeah, and we'll try to do a couple of live streams tomorrow on the way down and maybe on the way up.
There we go.
So, thanks, guys.